All right. What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy, MM2K of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage here, also with your co-host of this show, Daryl Smock Jr. Daryl, how you doing today, good friend?
Doing good, man. You know, I woke up, I'm energized, man. Yeah. And I'm ready to talk about some games and get into the news. It's been so long.
Yes, yes. Daryl hit me up. It was like, bro, when we going live again? He thought I was giving him the cold shoulder. I was like, and then what it was, we had so many things going on, and you know, Stadia Community Day, Stadia this, Stadia that. We did everything for y'all that I had to abandon my boy for a little bit, but no. He's back now. We even canceled SSC Podcast because we had to have this show this week. All right. So SSC Podcast will be back next week. And the show, hopefully, will be back next week as well, as long as we both can commit to it. And we'll see. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
All right. With that being said, we got a lot of news happening. You know, and I'm really going over just the last few weeks alone. We have new features, Smock. And you know how we do. Let me show you something. So what I'm going to do, Smock, instead of me babbling on so much, I'm just going to do a quick rundown, of the news. And I know I hit the chat momentarily, but I'm just going to do a quick rundown of the news, and then we're going to get your thoughts on it. New features. Stadia Games has the search results launch from the actual Google page. What does that word solid mean? It says here on StadiaDosage.com, it looks like Google has rolled out a significant update to its search results for games. Now, when you search for a game, you can press play on your favorite cloud gaming service that has the game in order to get taken to a page to start up the title. And this was discovered by Brian Chappell of the Nerf Report. Brian has an example of how it works right here. Let's click play, and you can see right there how that actually works. He's putting in Control Ultimate Edition. It brought up a section where he can play it, and it launched him straight to the Google page. And there were also other cloud gaming platforms available there as well for him to try. So, but he chose Stadia. Yeah, so that's dope, and that's being rolled out.
That's super dope.
Cool feature. What else we got going on here? We got party.
I didn't even know about that.
You didn't know about? Oh, see, yeah, man. See, you get on your return. You gonna get educated, man. Stadia has an incredible feature. Now up to 10 people can play in a party, and anybody can be a spectator or somebody can be a streamer in that party. So if there's me, Smock, and 8 other people, me and Smock can be doing streams, and the people in the party can, you know, switch in between our streams. They can stream themselves, and me and Smock can, you know, pause our game to go see what they're doing or what, you know. It's just awesome stuff that you can do within the party chat system now.
Yeah. When I see this and when I think about what the party chat feature, I mean the party live stream feature,
yep.
Think about them. It took a page from Discord.
Yeah.
You could live stream to your Discord, and people can watch you and comment.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like the same thing, but in Stadia. That's dope. Like Stadia is coming closer to like what Discord is, you know, like with their chat features and everything. The only thing they're missing is video. As soon as Google allows you to record your video, like your face, like with the face cam, you know?
Oh yeah, with the face cam. Okay, I got you.
As soon as they allowed to do that, man, it's over.
Yeah,
it's gonna blow up. It's gonna really blow up.
Let me see here. We're looking at the chat, and for those of you that are watching this live, again, this is weekly update where we go over the cloud gaming news with a heavy focus on Stadia for the week. It's hosted by Daryl Smock and myself. If you want to be part of the live participating chat, that live participating chat is our member chat. We pre-record this on Fridays, and we do it actively with our member chat. So when we're reading off chat comments and things like that, that's from them. I'm listening to I'm looking at mostly Martinez in the chat, and he says nothing sounds good. Are you talking about the stream, Martinez? I'm confused.
He's talking about the phone. It's a phone.
Oh, you're talking about the phone. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing is when you join us for the live member recording on Fridays, normally at 1 p.m., but this week we had technical difficulties. Don't get me started. I don't want to get into it. Microsoft, I can't stand you. But it's usually 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do a pre-show that's specifically for the members that you're not going to get if you're watching this live. So consider being a member, helping out the channel. It'll make it a better platform for you. All right. With that being said, yeah, so those are the things about the features. Smart. What do you think about those two features? Again, you can launch from a Google search into Stadia or any other cloud platform, and this party stream feature. What are your thoughts on those?
That helps a lot with visibility. With Google, them putting their games in the search engine, so you could just search up the game and then be able to launch it from the search engine. That's big, but they need to emphasize it. Like I was looking, I didn't see it clearly, but what they should do is put a little play now, a little thing, or play demo now next to the search result if the game has a demo, so they can click into it and play the demo right then and there. You feel me?
Yeah.
So so it's just to entice people, the unexpected gamer that may have wanted to get that for, like, maybe he was trying to search up a game to see how much it costs to go get it for his Xbox or his PlayStation. But then when he sees, like, what you mean play now, and you click that button, you feel me? And it's an official site, and it takes you over to the site where you could just play like a little demo of the game that you wanted to play. That's a gateway to get people that may not otherwise, have given Stadia a chance, to buy the game after they play it. Like, that's literally like think about it. You search a game that you may want to get for Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch. You want to see how much it is, and when you get there, you see this little symbol like that you haven't seen before. What is this play now thing? Or what is this little play thing? You click on it, then it takes you to the page to play the demo. You play the demo, you like it, boom, you can play the game right there. You don't even gotta get up from your chair. You did it all right there, within a span of like 30 minutes.
So let's go back a little bit. Let's see what it looks like here, per what Brian showed us. Here, let's maximize that on the screen. So if you see it right there, that's the panel right there to the right. So you'll go look for Control Ultimate Edition, for instance, and then you'll look to the right and you'll say Play Now.
Oh, it does say Play Now.
Yes, it's Play Now over here on the right, and then there's a button
it's off
next
to the side though.
Yeah, it's off to the side. Yeah,
it needs to be up there with the rest of them. Like where the ad section is, or like in the main section right there. They need to have that picture bigger.
Yeah,
and then say make the Play Now bigger so people can see, so it can catch their attention.
Yeah, like when you search for a game, I think after ads, because ads would be different. Show the ads if you want to, but directly under that, I would have this. Like you said, I would have a picture of the game, and then I would have like Play Now, Google Stadia, Amazon Luna. I would have it going across like over here. Because I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of people that this rolled out to probably missed this part. You know what I mean? Like, because your conscious is fixated on this over here,
center of the screen. Yeah,
exactly. So I'm in total agreement with you. It's cool, this being the first rendition of that, but I think, like you said, to maximize what it could do, ultimately a future rendition would have it over here under ads, or you could, well, I wouldn't say but I would say you can Play Now and
put it in bold letters,
Yeah, Play Now and have it and then have these services going across horizontally. I think that would be something dope. You know what I mean? What do you think about the here, let me trim this down. Okay, so there's that. What do you already talked about the party chat. What do you think about for hosting tournaments and stuff like that? I think that'll be a useful thing for hosting like the community championships that we're holding now.
Yeah.
That'd
be good too, because basically it's more exclusive. It'll be like it'll seem like it's more exclusive, so like and it's good for the tournament players, so they can see how the competition is doing, so they could go in and watch and see. Like a popular thing. I'm surprised I'm thinking about this, but a popular thing with Mortal Kombat is when they do King of the Hill, they have the people off to the side and they're waiting for their match and they're watching the match. This is basically like almost the same thing. See, this is why I wish you could stream to the party chat and to YouTube at the same time, because imagine this: you're playing Mortal Kombat, right? You got your party chat people watching, the people that's playing, and then if you're in line, if you're doing crowd play on YouTube, the people that's in line can be put into that party
exactly.
To speak to everybody else, and then when it's their turn to fight, boom, they could just get up there and play next, and then hop in,
It does create now that is possible, but not through. But like you said, it's not. It would be dope if it's seamless through direct stream, but you can use OBS. You can capture that screen and you can do it yourself manually through OBS. But I'm totally with you on that suggestion. Let's take it. Let's make that a future rendition of the party chat feature. Allow it to be part of the direct stream package. And like you said, when you're hosting a Mortal Kombat tournament, it's like, okay, well, I got my ass kicked, but now Smock is up. So let's show you what Smock is going to do. You know what I'm saying? So, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. All right. So that's it for that. Two great features. What are your thoughts? I think those are two big features, some of the biggest features that the platform could have. And it did create some buzz, even on the mainstream side. What do you think? Was it worthy of that buzz?
Yeah, heck yeah, man. That's a huge feature. That's a really good feature. Like, it's basically just Stadia enhancing, bettering the experience, Like, whenever Stadia does something that makes the players' experience better, bro, it's a win. Yeah, it's pretty, so yeah, that's a really big feature, that has a potential, to do a lot, because now, like I said, all they need is for us to be able to add our webcam. As soon as they allow that access, bro, it's going to blow up. It's going to blow up tenfold.
Yeah.
Because they're basically like lessening the worry of the player, of a streamer needing to go out and build a PC. Like, if you want to truly be competitor, and I know they're not, and I know Stadia is not trying to compete with PC, but if Stadia wants this platform to be the pinnacle, they gotta add it, because can't you do that on like Luna or something?
Yeah, you can do it.
Where you can go live with. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. Luna's nowhere near Stadia right now. Not saying that the Luna isn't bad. I'm not saying Luna's bad, but I mean, come on. Like, Stadia wants to remain number one. They gotta add it, bro. They got to.
Let me.
It seems like they're building towards it.
Well, let me tell you this, Smock, and that's a great segue to a future segment, not the next one, but we have this chart out here where some people tried to do some slick stuff to put Stadia at the bottom, and they would reckon to argue that Amazon Luna is the number one service above Game Pass. That's what somebody would tell you. I'm gonna show you that in a little bit, but I'm just imagining people watching this and them like, no, I thought Amazon Luna was better than Game Pass, and then them not realizing that chart that we're going to show in the future was a bunch of hoopla to an extent, but we'll get into that in a little bit. All right, so next up is the Saints Row trailer. There was a trailer for there's a trailer for Saints Row. It says meet the cast of Saints Row, the latest story trailer. I'm going to pause the music. I'm going to open the desktop volume and then let's play this trailer because I've never seen this before.
You have more agency and power than the world wants you to know.
How do we make a statement? We want to be more than a street gang.
We just gotta be a little more creative.
Last time we got creative, people try to kill us.
Can you hear it, Daryl, or no?
No, I can't, but I
To
see
realize that power, there's something you need to
tripping.
do. You need to be your own boss.
It's our time now. Let's get this shit started.
The
I
boss
might be
of
able
your
to do
job
something. in regards to that.
nothing without me.
and the boss of your life.
There's no one I want more by my side than those guys.
Life is full of adversity and challenges.
We took on 2 crews at once and walked away just fine.
Guys, I was shot.
Your friends deserve better.
You really think you have what it takes to bring me in?
You deserve better. But only you can choose to adapt to what life throws your way.
You called for a ride? Good call. Let's get that money. We're starting a criminal empire. And now it's time for us to reap the benefits. I come for your crown.
Yeah, don't try to figure it out.
Yeah, point taken.
We're really good at what we do. We call ourselves the Saints.
All right, dope stuff. What did you think about that, Smock? About that trailer?
I think this game's gonna blow up on Stadia.
Yeah.
Like it's already gotten a lot of attention. Like they let certain streamers like play a beta version of the game early, and both of those 2 channels that I've seen play it got a lot of views. Like those 2 videos got a lot of views on it. So I think this game is gonna do really well on Stadia. I'm definitely buying this day one. I'm surprised we can we pre-order this game? I'm surprised we can't do that anymore.
Unfortunately, not. Can't pre-order it.
Yeah, can we pre-order any games? Pre-order any game.
There's pre-orders for games like Ubisoft. I think started opening up. Ubisoft started opening up the what do you call it? Jesus Christ. They started opening up pre-orders. So I think you can start ordering like Skull and Bones. And there's been other games that you can pre-order where there's been pre-order deals with it. Just not one with this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
I thought that pre-orders, I know they did it differently. Like it wasn't your standard just pre-order. I know it was different. I always thought that pre-orders was a good thing.
Yep. Shout out to Geek to Sneak. He says Resident Evil were pre-orders. Resident Evil 8 and Cyberpunk were pre-orders.
No. I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about future games, future releases. Okay. I know we used to do pre-orders. I'm talking about like for future really like games that are coming to Stadia but aren't out yet. That has been announced to come to Stadia. We pre-order the games. Like I know we used to. Like I would pre-order both of those games. I have both of them. Okay. I didn't know it because honestly, I don't see a lot of games in our pre-order section anymore.
Yeah, I haven't checked it. Really,
like okay, yeah, you can Skull and Bones and FIFA 23. Okay, that's checking it right now.
Now, Geek to Sneak puts up another great comment that's a great segue into our next discussion in regards to this. As cool as this looks, we don't quite know what we're gonna get and that's kind of
that's
kind of like the Achilles heel of Stadia. It's like we don't.
They
know
do that to the last Saints Row.
No, the last Saints Row, I think, was, I think the last Saints Row played pretty good on Stadia. Looked pretty good and played pretty good. I think there's a 1080p 60 mode and a 4K 30 mode, if my memory serves me right. It wasn't one of my favorite Saints Rows. My favorite one is 2. I'm waiting for 2 to come. You know what I mean? But so I didn't put much time into it. But when I played it, it was, I think it looked and it played very well. And I can't remember the actual specs off the top of my head. But I think that we got a fairly good looking and playing Saints Row. Now, that being said, we don't know what we're going to get with this version.
Listen, this is a brand new game releasing in 2022.
Yeah.
I swear, if this game, a brand new release is at 1080, capped at 1080, I don't believe that. I don't. There ain't no way. Ain't no way any game, any AAA title releasing
a brand new should be capped at
brand
1080.
New at 1080.
I hope you're right, brother. I hope you're right.
Because he said just guessing, but it looks like the Stadia version 6 will probably where is he getting these numbers from? Or where's he getting the information from?
So here's what John is basing this off of, and I'm gonna put this on the screen too, and then I'll put the chat back up for you to see, Smock. But they were given specs on Saints Row via PC, and it says minimum for 1080p 30 frames per second. You're gonna need a GeForce GTX 970 for the recommended 1080p 60 frames per second specs. You're going to need a equivalent to a 1070 or RX 5700. For high, you're going to need, for 1440p 60, you're going to need equivalent to an RTX 2080. And for ultra 4K 60, you're going to need GeForce RTX 3080 Ti. I think what this says is that we can at least expect a 1080 60 frames per second mode. I don't know if that doesn't mean that we can't get a 4K 30 mode.
I don't see why we couldn't.
Yeah. I could see why we could. And when and to Geek the Sneak's comment, like, I don't know what Geek, do you have like a 3080? I don't know what cards you have. I know you play on GeForce as well, play on the 3080 tier, but I was just wondering, like you said, you're getting it for PC. Are you getting it for PC because of PC specs, or you're getting it for PC because of GeForce? If you're getting it mainly for PC specs, it looks like that to get those bells and whistles, you're going to want to get a 3080, or you're going to have to ensure that you got a 3080. But I'm looking at this, and I don't know how graphically intense this is going to be. I mean, I see some things that, it looks better than the previous Saints Rows, which it should, because it's newer. But I don't know how graphically intense this Saints Row is going to be, and that's why I said I don't know if I'm going to get. Oh, you got a 3060. I don't know, brother. I mean, you're going to get a good experience, I think. You're going to be capped at 1440p 60. It looks like natively. Says I play most of my games 1080p, 1440p high ultra settings, averaging. Oh, okay. I see what you do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I get it. Or higher on PC. Yeah. I used to like 1440p for my native PC. And then
seen 4K.
And then I see 4K. I'm like, no. You're like, no, I need 4K on my PC. So I have a 3070. Yeah. And even with a 3070, it's hard, man. It's hard Even with a 3070, that's what I hate about hardware is that you always got to keep building up and building up and building up. I want that 4K, man. You know,
because people keep demanding more. People keep demanding more. So in order to produce more, they got to create bigger games that is unfortunately going to require more, higher specs. And I think this is going to be standard with all new games. You're going to need a high-end PC to get the best stuff.
Yeah.
No,
and that's only going. Them parts only last like 6 to 8 months, really. Like when I got my 3070, games were dope for about 6 months. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then Far Cry 6 came out and blew my PC, which is spec'd out of the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
It's crazy. Now, this is where I'm going to sound like a hypocrite. I'm okay with 1080p 60 on Stadia. I'm okay with it. Am I jumping up for joy for it? No. It all depends on if it's 1080p 60 high. If it's 1080p 60 high, okay, no, I'm all right with it. I'd rather see 1200p 1440p on Stadia. And Sneak might hear that and be like, well, you just were talking about you need 4K. Yeah, I need 4K on a machine that I spent, almost $2,000 on. Yeah, I need that. That's why I'm gonna spend $2,000 on it, because it's gonna give me the best output. But for something like Stadia, you know what I mean? I can deal. I'll be okay with 1080p 60 high. I'll be okay with it. But I really want 1200p 1440p high. You know what I'm saying? I want something like Judgment. What are your thoughts on that, Smock? Because I'm gonna look up something too, which is really important. Go ahead. What are your thoughts?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to disagree. It's okay if you're okay with 10. If you're okay with Saints Row coming in at 1080p, then that's fine. But I disagree with you said that you didn't spend a lot of money on Stadia, so it's okay to expect less. I don't agree with that. Because Stadia their job isn't to provide less. It's to provide those experiences that you would get on your high-end PC or your PS5, but in the cloud. That's their thing. Ooh. So I can't expect, if I'm going to have Stadia be my main source, it has to provide that same experience.
Ooh.
And they've been doing that. But the thing is, it's not Stadia's fault. It's not. I just can't put the blame on Stadia when it's the developers for not taking that time to put out those games to run just as good. The one thing, the main thing that I would have to, the reason why I wanted to see where he was getting those numbers from is because I know that stuff that they use to port to PC isn't the same stuff that they use to port to Stadia. So these numbers might not not cross over one-to-one.
Exactly.
It's not going to cross over one-to-one when they're porting to Stadia, yeah. So you can't really base the experience that we get one-to-one to these numbers, because Stadia doesn't use any of those. So
no, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Again, it's 2022, man. Ain't no way, and no future game. I'm gonna stick to what I'm saying. I've been saying this for months. No game releasing in 2022 and beyond, especially with low charge porting being available to all developers. I know it's available to them. It has to be, but no future game that's releasing between 2022 and beyond should be releasing with the cap of 1080.
Oh, no. I'm not saying cap. I'm talking about performance modes. I don't do 4K 30. I think a 4K 30 mode should be present, but that's why I don't play, for instance, Far Cry 6 on Stadia, because there's no 60 frames per second mode. I need 6. So I'm just going off of what I normally play. I don't think 1080p 60 as the cap is okay. I think 4K 30 should be the cap. Are you okay with 4K 30, or you think it should be higher?
I'm okay with 4K 30 because at least it looks good,
Okay.
but it's
Okay.
not gonna perform. But
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
but it's you know, it's better at 60.
Yeah.
But
I'm
because
not.
when I read Christopher Torres's tweet, right, he was the one that said. I mean, not Christopher Torres. He didn't say it. Sorry. The main tweet. I forgot who did it.
It was John
John
Scars.
Scar. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What I get saying that we're only going to get 1080 60 and that's it. So that's what that sounds like when I read that.
I don't know. I mean, it says it probably will run. Yeah, I don't think that. I'm thinking without John being here. I'm thinking what John is saying is that it will run at 1080 62 because, you know, a lot of this stuff is comparable to what Stadia's hardware is, at least for the 1080 60 recommendations. For the 1080 60 recommendations, Stadia's hardware is comparable to that. So I think what he's saying is that we're going to get a 1080 60 mode. But again, he's just guessing just like us. But I just thought it was great for the discussion to say, you know, what if we don't get a 1080 60 mode? Or, to your point, what if it's capped off at 1080 60? Like, how are we going to feel about that? I'm in agreement with you. Well, I'm in agreement with you, and then I'm going to add a disagreement with you. I'm going to tell you where I agree with you. I totally agree with you that a AAA game should have a 4K mode. I think every single AAA game should have a 4K 30 mode. Stadia has shown us on multiple occasions where it's more than capable of doing that. You take an instance like a game like Judgment. I forgot where I was looking at a compare of, and it was just amazing where Judgment was being compared, and it was synonymous, like with the Xbox Series X version. Granted, Judgment is a lot smaller game, but still, we know what then you look at a game like Division, that's always crispy, clean, and wet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's other examples to where
Resident
we
Evil
know.
6, it looks amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Siege. What else? Siege is a great example. Freaking Resident Evil is another great example. Like, if they really
Destiny
put that,
2 looks amazing.
Destiny 2, if they put the effort in the game, it's going to look good on Stadia. Now, here's where I do slightly disagree with you. I don't think at this juncture, I don't think Stadia right now is looking to be on par with Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. Why? Because they said so. They told us before launch, we're not looking at what they're doing. I think they're looking to be an in-between. I think they're looking right now, not forever, but right now to be better than PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Maybe not 1v1 PlayStation 5, but Xbox Series X. But for people that are disenfranchised or don't want to make an upgrade, they're going to be good enough. Are you okay? And I think what the caveat is, as soon as we get these developers on board to utilize our hardware, hopefully with the low change porting, and they'll just, that'll make it easier for them to do so, with the caveat that once they get on board and use the low change porting, then we can start talking about what do they call that? Being on par. I can't think of the word right now, but being on par with PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. Are you okay with that trade-off with Stadia being, this is a great question because it causes a great debate in the community. Are you okay with the trade-off of Stadia as far as output being in between Series X and 1S with the hopes that the low change porting will change that? Or does it have to be like that? Does it have to be on par with them now? What do you think?
And now, I guess I'm okay with them being a little less. But the difference where Stadia should have the advantage is that Stadia is ever evolving. So Stadia can upgrade its hardware to be just as good. When they have it. Because I don't know if if it's still a thing or not. But like supposedly Stadia's supposed to have like a newer version, a newer hardware. That's what that developers are
Gen
going to be using. We
2.0.
don't know. Yeah, we don't know when that's coming or where they're at with it or anything like that. So
Yeah.
right now, because they're still using the same hardware as day one. They haven't used any new hardware for their stuff. So I guess I'm okay with it now. Now that I'm thinking about it, that it's the same. Now that I'm thinking about it, because they are using the same hardware that they've used since launch. They haven't used none of the new stuff yet. So I guess right now I'm okay with it because the thought of them using the same hardware. They're not using the new stuff. Now, if they bring out the new stuff and it's not that much better, then that's why they're
and that's why I think they haven't brought out the new stuff yet. I think they haven't brought out the new stuff yet because nobody has committed to utilizing it. Like even Ubisoft, who we got to keep it real. And I remember having a conversation with Geek to Sneak one time, and I think he had misunderstood what I was saying. He was like, "Hold on, can we be honest and admit that if Ubisoft leaves Stadia, they're in AAA trouble?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, to a degree, yes. I would say I don't know what their future deals are, but yeah, that would create a large dent." So, but even Ubisoft with its crazy support, again, we got a cap of 30 frames per second on Far Cry 6. Even with Riders Republic, we didn't get a 60 frames per second mode. Now, that's a fast-paced bike game. So we got situations where even they... And then look, they told on themselves. I hope I don't say this and cause future heartache where they won't do this anymore. But they told on themselves with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Valhalla released at 30 frames per second, right? A lot of people thought it was cool. I couldn't play it. But then they dropped this 60 frames per second mode, this 1440p 60 frames per second mode that is phenomenal. And I think should be the status quo for all performance modes here on out until they upgrade their hardware, right? Because I have instances recorded. Now, people can say this is cap, MM2K, but I have instances recorded. If you want to see them, I'll show you. I'm not going to do it live on air because I don't want to embarrass our good friends that have a good time with GFN or get them all riled up. But when I first got the 3080 tier, when I had access to it, I was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the 3080 tier, and then I was playing it post-patch on Stadia. Couldn't tell the difference. I literally had to stop moving and look at like the textures in the rock, and I said, okay, I believe this is the 3080 tier, and I was right. So I couldn't tell the difference. So Ubisoft told on themselves to me, because how come the game didn't launch that way? We didn't want to put the resources in to make it that way at launch. We just made it good enough for it to release on the platform. You know what I mean? So that's
and
why
I believe that's what they do.
Yeah,
but I believe even on PS5 and Xbox One, they're still having troubles like that where games release not fully developed.
Yep.
Like, and listen, man, I didn't list that article yet that I wrote up about Assassin's Creed because that studio in itself is just. When it comes to Stadia, they're having a lot of problems with Stadia. Like the game does run better, but as far as updates go, it's not the updates is not acceptable. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say, so I read his comment. I remembered. Even though Stadia needs Ubisoft outside of Stadia, like Ubisoft, like compared to the other studios, Ubisoft is nowhere near the top. Nowhere near the top studio. They're a big studio for Stadia, but they haven't. I don't think a lot of their games are profiting right now. A lot of Ubisoft games are not profiting. So in the same zone or in the same respect, Stadia needs Ubisoft, but Ubisoft needs cloud too. because I can get, because outside of Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six, or outside of Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six, I believe that the cloud platform is probably one of Ubisoft's best supporters right now.
Mm-hmm.
We may not have the best numbers. We may not have the best numbers right now, but as far as support, they get a lot of more positive support from the cloud than they do from everywhere else.
Yeah. Yep. Geek has an interesting comment. He says 1080p ultra settings look better than 4K and Stadia. Just saying. That's not I can't agree with that flat out. There are instances to where you could say that, because if it's at 4K low settings, you can make that argument because it's blurry both places. But 1080p is just too blurry. It's too blurry for me, and I need that sharpness. And again, but then we could battle that all day because that's subjective. Some people need that. Some people need the resolution. Some people just totally focus on graphics or textures. Like someone can see a texture and be like, ooh, the ripple in that shirt is, oh man, that's crazy. And the wood grain in that table. But if it's not sharp to me, no. I was one of those kids that when I had the TV, them old school TVs with the knobs, in order for you to adjust the contrast, and I always turn the sharpness all the way up. I was one of those kids. So I don't care what texture, I don't care what the grain on the rock looks like if it's not sharp enough. And so where you have a situation where it's ultra settings 1080p, but it's 4K high on Stadia, absolutely not in my opinion. But again, that's all subjective. Some people need that. Some people need that balance, that sharpness. That's why I can't do 1440p anymore. I don't game in 1440p anymore on PC. PC to me, I need 4K 60. I don't need 100 frames. As long as I'm getting 60, I'm cool. A lot of people like those 100 frames. I trust me, years ago, I've said it before, years ago, I did 1440p, 200 frames per second on Destiny 2 with my homie, and then I got bored with it after a while. I was like, something was just saying in the back of my head, 4K, 4K, 4K. I was like, I can't do this 1440p anymore. And I would go back to 4K 60 and I was happy. So it's all subjective, but I can't say across the board. I don't know about you, Smock. I can't say across the board that 1080p Ultra across the board looks better than 4K Stadia in each and every game. Yeah.
This is a bad example because this game isn't by any means a good port for Stadia. But we didn't talk about it, but the games that I've been playing lately is only the Crew 2. I've only been playing the Crew 2. That's the only game I've been playing because lately I don't have the energy to put into Destiny 2 to go grind and to go do stuff, and then get frustrated with PvP. I haven't had that energy lately. So I've just been playing the Crew 2, So, I'm driving around cooling, but I'm sorry, MM, but if you want proof, I would show you proof. In 80p on a YouTube video looks better than 4K Crew 2 on Stadia.
Oh, no. That's why I said there's some games, I'm not going to say across the board it's like that. Like Crew 2, I hear that it's not.
It's not good. It's not good for it, bro.
But like you can't tell me.
In 4K, it looks decent in 4K 30 on Stadia, but playing this game playing the Crew 2 in 1080p is terrible. Yeah. It's like it doesn't even look I'm sorry, man. I hate talking like this, bro, because I like this thing so much. But bro, 1080p looks terrible on Stadia. It looks bad.
Oh no,
it's not unplayable. Like I could look past it, but This is where I'm at. If my Stadia Pro subscription runs out, I'm not touching the Crew 2 because I can't play that game at that resolution.
Well, I think Geek's argument is 1080p Ultra on the PC is better than 4K 30 on Stadia. And again, in the Crew 2, that would probably be a great example. I'm not co-signing that on Madden. I'm not co-signing that on the Division. I'm not co-signing that on Monstrum Nux. I'm not co-signing on that on what's it call it on I'm not even co-signing on that on Far Cry 6. Here's why. I tried Far Cry 6 in many variations. 1080p 60 Ultra versus the 4K version of Stadia, which I really believe, well, at least at launch, it had those. I think it had those HD textures in them.
He isn't capping. I played those games as well. They look great in 4K. They look great. They've done like there's so many people like even like Stadia's biggest hater did like what's that team. The team of people that was always comparing Stadias, like they did the Cyberpunk thing next to the McDonald's. They're doing all this, and there was pixel peeping and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who is? I forgot the name. Who is doing that? But not all games look bad on 4K, bro. Trust me. I don't know what games, Geek. Yeah. I don't know what games you tried, bro. But Madden looks great in 4K. It's arguably one of the best ports on Stadia. Yeah. Division 2 looks incredible in 4K. Like it's literally 1-to-1.
Yeah,
like, Destiny 2 looks great on Stadia. Mortal Kombat looks great on Stadia. Like, the grid looks great. Dirt looks great on Stadia. What else? Far Cry 6 does look pretty good in 4K. It looks pretty good in 4K.
Mm-hmm.
What else? The Rainbow Six Siege looks great when it's maxed out on Stadia. Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 5, both look great on Stadia. Cyberpunk looks great, like in 4K.
Yeah.
NBA 2K looks great in 4K.
Yeah, Sneak. I don't know I don't know what juice you've been sipping, bro. I love you, but 1080p, as blurry as 1080p is, you're telling me that 1080p Ultra for Division 2, I would believe you any other game. I got to put this up here. I love you, brother. I love you like a child I never paid child support for. But you're trying to tell me that 1080p Ultra, 1080p. I'm willing to hear what you have to say on 1440p, even though I don't agree with that. But 1080p Ultra, and bro, I got an LG. I got an LG C1. I've been gaming in 4K for the last 2 years only. 4K only. I dangled with 1440p. I have 4 monitors. I got 2 4K monitors, 2 1440p monitors. There is not near 1080p monitor in my house anymore. You're trying to tell me
his PC is he could hook his PC to his LG TV.
Yeah, I can hook my TV. Yeah. What you talking about? Play it on PC, bro? I play it on PC. I've been playing it before you played it on PC. I've been playing the first place I got Division 2 was on PC. I don't know the quality of your 4K TV. I'll just put it like that. You must have the Hachitachi 2000. I don't know what you got.
Probably has that wallpaper TV.
Yeah, he got. I don't know what he got.
$8,000.
I don't know what bro got. And maybe you can't get. I would fathom your argument if you were like, yeah, 1440p Ultra kills Stadia, because I've tried 1440p Ultra on my PC versus what I was playing on Stadia. And yes, draw distances are better. That one, I forgot the one element to where you look at your gun and your gun is close up on you. There's clarity on there. But overall, Stadia still hold its own versus 1440p Ultra. When you look at everything, and again, it's beauty's in the eye of the beholder. the sharpness that 4K gives you. I'm not talking about in screen. See, this is where the rubber hits the road. You're talking about 4K sharpness that is in game. That has nothing to do with the 4K sharpness. You're talking about millions more pixels that 4K produces than the sharpness that is produced in game. Like you're still you can change the sharpness to a T, but it's not equivalent to the millions of pixels that you can get going from 1440p to 4K. It's double the pixels. So that's completely different.
I don't ever think Strong would agree.
You know what I'm saying?
With that statement that he made.
What say that again?
I don't ever think Strong would agree with that statement that he made.
That what?
Oh, 1080 Ultra looks better than 4K.
No. I don't know where. I'm not sure. I mean, you know.
Like the resolution, the resolution isn't even the same. Like 1080 Ultra
it's not even.
It's just refining. It's just refining the blacks and all, and the stuff that will look washed out. It's just making it look better. But the ultra settings doesn't make the overall quality of the picture just, you know, because basically if you're saying that 1080 Ultra looks better than 4K on Stadia, you're basically saying that there's not a big difference between 4K and 1080p. That's basically what you're saying. Because rather it's 4K on Stadia, 4K on a PC, 4K on PS5, 4K on Xbox, 4K is 4K. Mm-hmm. You know, like if it's native 4K, now there's a difference between native and upscaled 4K, but it's still 4K at the end of the day.
And the
1080p is 1080p at the end of the day.
So you have the millions of more resolution pixels from 1080p to 4K. So that's on 4K side. Now I will agree that depending upon the texture quality, that might be degraded. Like if you're talking about 4K from a base 1080p that's set on low, I'm with you. But we're not talking about that when it comes to Division. Division 2 was like high settings. You know what I'm saying? At least high settings. For the resolution it's not upscaled from 1440p. It's upscaled from a 20. It's an odd number, but it's like a 26. Go watch the Digital Foundry video. So we're not talking about something that's low grade, that's dynamically upscaled from like low settings. The base setting is 1200p. Like the ultra settings that you get in the textures while you're in 1080p is going to be degraded by the fact that it's only 1080p if you're bumping it up against 4K. That's not just Stadia, that's anywhere. So yeah, I'm not sure where this is coming from. I love you, Geek. Hey, if you like it, I love it, man. If you're enjoying 1080p that much, that's cool. You know, if textures or the holy grail for you that much versus resolution, that's cool. But somebody who has had the top of the line 4K TVs since the Xbox One release, I'm talking about top of the line. Whatever was the top of the line, I had it. So I know quality 4K. I'm not sure what you're dealing with when it comes to 4K. I know quality 4K. And I know quality 1080p because I've been buying monitors every year for the last 4 years. And then I went and upgraded to quality 1440p monitors. And I've seen the difference between my quality 1080p monitors and my quality 1440p monitors. And I said, okay, 1080p is done in this house. So then I went to 1440p. But then when I got my quality 4K monitors, I was like, oh, 1440p is done in this house except for computer monitors. Like, you know, I have no 1080p monitors in this house. On an LG C1, 4K Stadia versus a 1080p ultra settings Division 2. When you say it kills it, I'll just say if you like it, I love it. I'll just leave it at that. But no, great discussion nonetheless. It's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else we got? Yeah. So that is a concern. I didn't mean to close the. Here, let me put the chat back up for you, Smock.
Listen, great chat, man.
Yeah, excellent chat is always great. Yeah.
Great conversation.
Yeah. So here, let me put the chat back up. Hold on, where is it at?
I see it.
Oh, you got it. Okay. So yeah. So let me put this back up too. Golly, why did this close? And now I got to go back here and put the chat back up.
We went off on a tangent, y'all.
Yeah.
It happens.
What I will say though is that I am hoping that with Saints Row there is a 4K mode and a 1080p 60 mode. I'm hoping that there's both.
Performance and visual.
Yeah. I am to the point though, Smock, to where I am tired of 1080p 60. I want to start seeing. I want to start seeing 1200p 60 at the least, preferably 1440p 60. And that's where I'm hopeful. Now, this is where I do agree. This is where I'm hopeful that the low change porting changes that to where it makes 1440p 60 as a baseline so easy to reach. Because I think it is reachable.
You know what's interesting?
What's that?
There are games that don't have good visual fidelity on Stadia. When you stream them to YouTube, they look way better on YouTube because you can stream in 1440 60 on YouTube. But YouTube viewers will see that, but you won't. You see 1440 30, but the viewers will have a better experience looking at you play the game than you will actually playing a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
like
is
the
true. Game
will look visually better on YouTube.
Yeah.
When you're streaming versus you playing the game. So that's the interesting part.
Yeah. I think that's a great feature to where, again, viewers are not limited to your at-home hardware. So you can actually like when you get done, you could just go and run and say, "Oh, I want to see my stream," and get all excited. You know what I'm saying? Because your stream looks so great. I think that's cool. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Let's see here. What else have we got on the dock? So I think that's pretty much it for the pure Stadia side of the news. Great conversation, everybody. And if you're listening to this live, or if you're listening to this via VOD or Premiere, anybody that contributes to helping out this platform in the month of August, while the month of August is finishing, or if you've done so in July, if you help us out with a super chat or a super thanks, you get entered into a raffle where you could win a Chromecast Ultra and a Stadia controller as part of the Stadia Premiere bundle. We're going to put you in a raffle. Geek to Sneak has actually been a winner of one of those. We won't have to check the 4K on that CCU just to make sure that it's good for him, because I don't know, my brother's tripping. No, I'm just messing with it. But yeah, Geek to Sneak has been a winner of everything everywhere. But Geek to Sneak has been a winner of that. And hopefully he's received his, or he's getting his soon. Also, because I sent it out this week. Also, no, that's it. Because by the time I announced that publicly, I think I can announce it still. Don't forget, Cloudy Game Reviews, our review show, that is the crossworks of Stadia, Dosage, and PNTS Network. That airs every other Saturday at 10 a.m. And then if you're watching this live with the members, that's going to be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. If you're watching it Sunday, go check out that VOD as soon as this is done. It's going to be a hell of a show. All right. All right. With that said, let's move on. Cloud news. I think I got this up here already. Nah, I don't want to get to that one yet, because I got a big rant. No. That is actually the next part. So, Smock, let me ask you, did you hear about this article from Zach Zwiesen of Kotaku, where
I heard about it, but I didn't read it.
You didn't read it? Okay.
I heard about it. I didn't read it.
So just to give a synopsis of it real quick, and then just to talk about it. Zach,
I've seen it. Like I've seen this tweet. I've seen this, but I didn't actually read the article.
Here, let's pull up the article. So what he does is he talks to several Stadia gamers, and he tries to understand why they enjoy the service.
This is funny, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like again, like we're some 12-legged beasts with 5 lungs and blue
that's
blood.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I remember.
Something.
Go ahead.
What's going on in the minds of those Stadia players? Why are they playing this service?
Yes.
Why are they enjoying this service that is supposed to be dead? Like this is the bad service. Why do you like it?
Yeah.
Like dang, bro. Is it that bad for us to have a different
And that's
opinion?
why I'm not. Yeah.
Jesus.
You're like, when you read the article, you read it and in comparison to prior Kotaku articles, you're looking at it and you're like, well, this isn't that bad. It does a great, it puts you in the mind of the Stadia gamer, which isn't that bad. You know, they're not people with pitchforks and butcher knives just willing to fight for Stadia. They actually play games. But here's the patronizing part of that. Duh. Like, you know what I'm saying, Smock? Like, of course we're gamers.
Yeah.
And here's my mini tangent, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. Because really, I think I'm glad that you caught on that quickly. A lot of us, including myself, originally got hypnotized by the fact that this was not so negative in the words that are being said. But it's the thesis of this that I think is the most impactful part and really possibly the most negative part. What do I mean by that? The thesis is, I am going through the jungles to go show you the blue avatar Stadia person, and we're going to see how they survive with 5 lungs and 9 legs. Like, it's making it seem like that the Stadia gamer is so off the reservation from the atypical gamer, right? Now, they may have different circumstances, like they both the atypical gamer and the Stadia gamer just want to play games. But the person that flocks to Stadia may not have the money to buy a new console or the ability to wait in line for to get a PlayStation 5. Or they may not have the time to wait for all the downloads that are on Destiny 2 every 2 days, right? So, and their time is limited. So Stadia fills a void that is created because of their own personal circumstances. But at the end of the day, they just want to play games, right? And this story makes a semi-quick reference to it, like it says, where's that part at? I can't find it right now. I should have highlighted it, but it says, like, you know, it's easy to say that these Stadia gamers are weirdos, but they do clock.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It shows the bottom. I seen that. Go down. Yeah, it's It said they didn't want to get into the debate about the viability of the streaming platform or about which platform was better.
Yep, there it goes.
No, they just wanted to talk about all the games they were playing. It's easy to assume that the only people left playing Stadia are weirdos, are people who don't play much, but it's not hard to normal players who've clocked thousands of hours into the service.
So, I mean, so that's their ode to saying, well, there is something normal about these people. I mean, you know, even though they have 5 lungs, they operate like ours. You know, no, here's the thing. I feel, in reading this article, as charming. I think this article is more charming than it is enlightening, right? Because of the way, and that's what these young journos are good at. They're good at putting words together and making words fit a certain way. Here's the truth. The reason why, and they consider us weird because there's this Stadia community. We you know, a lot of us vigorously defend the platform on social media and stuff like that. And then we do these community things together where it's just we're hunkered down and into Stadia land or whatever. But here's the reality of it, Smock. They created that dynamic. How did they create that dynamic? By not telling the truth about the platform. And when you and I and Sneak and Martinez and Torres picked it up, we were like, hold on. What you're telling us, mainstream media, doesn't match the experience that I'm having. So I can't trust you. So now I got to find somewhere where I can find more about this platform, because I can't go to you. Normally I would like to just go to you. So then they come across to places like Stadia Source. Shout out to Stadia Source, who was originally there, the original pillars of where we can get information about this platform. Then we would have the Stadia Super Saturdays and things like that. They forced our hand because we couldn't go to them because they wouldn't do their job. So it's like they ostracized us because they wouldn't help cascade correct information. They kicked us off the island, kicked us off the mainland, and forced us to go into our own isle. And then once they forced us to go into our own isle, they say, look at those weirdos. They went from the mainland and went on to their own isle. Can you believe it?
Like
those are my thoughts about this. Yeah. Speaking of, and I hate to get political, you know what I'm saying? But let me, what's the guy's name from Notre Dame? Mateo, whatever, that was catfished. Let me look him up because I want to get, his name is Manti Te'o. And because me and my wife were watching this Netflix documentary about him last night, we were just amazed because we remember hearing the story, hearing the jokes, bypassing it, going about our business. But to see how troubling this was and how the mainstream media muffed up this storytelling of this and how this kind of traumatized this guy for life, we were like, damn, that's a shame. So what happened was Manti Te'o was football player, a church-raised boy, and, just a great humanitarian guy, right? And he ended up falling for what he thought was a female on Facebook, but it ended up being a guy that was having issues identifying with his sexuality at the time. I'm not going to get into all that, but that's what it was. And he created this female's persona so he could meet people and live out what he wanted to do in real life, but he was afraid to, right? And so then Manti ends up falling for this persona, and he's wide-eyed, he's a young kid or whatever, and he's just, believes the best in everybody. So they end up being long-distance boyfriend and girlfriend in Teo's eyes. And again, him not knowing that this was a guy or whatever, and he wanted to meet this persona, and the persona always had excuses or whatever. And then the persona, to get themselves out of heat, just made up this. The person died. They had a sibling call Teo and say, oh, so-and-so died. And it was the same day that his grandmother died. So he's thinking this is all real. So he goes live on TV, says, oh, my girlfriend died the same day my grandmother died. And that inspired him to play well in football games for the rest of the season and almost win a Heisman Trophy. Well, a news outlet discovered that he was being catfished when he didn't even know that he was being catfished until slightly later after that. They found out he was being catfished, and what they wanted to do was expose the media and falling for this and not knowing that he got catfished and expose them for not doing their job. But instead of them exposing the media, they end up joining the media and ridiculing him. And years later, they wanted to say, well, we were trying to expose the media, but you didn't do it. You would go on CNN and you would go on Fox News and you would go to these different places and they would ask you all these embarrassing questions about him and they would ridicule this guy, and you never brought up, hold on, stop. The problem isn't so much, it's Loopy that he didn't do any research and find out what was going on, but the problem isn't him. The problem is you guys. You guys didn't do your research. And because you didn't do your research, the whole world got captivated by the story that wasn't 100% true. So what does that got to do with this? The reason why I brought that up is the similarity is, don't get caught up in the charming way that this story is put together, in my opinion. The problem is it still tries to instill divisions like Stadia gamers or, we're winged. We're winged gamers that live at the top of trees and eat sap all day. No, we're just gamers who were disenfranchised or looking into tech. And the reason why we got to do things all on our own separate aisle, is because these same people that are writing these articles made it that way. because they wouldn't do what they were supposed to do. That's all I got to say about the matter. I'm going to shut up and turn over to Smock. Smock, what are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, no, you were right, because this, like, it's the fact that an article like this even exists, you know, and the way, like I said, I didn't read it, but going based off of what you said, going based off of what are the little things that I've read, like, people think that it's easy to assume that people that still play Stadia are weirdos, or, you know, little things like that. Like, the fact that you have to interview a gamer about why he's playing on a certain platform is already divisive. It's already like, it's already divisive. Already creating a device. Dang, I don't know why I can't talk. It's already creating the division within mainstream gamers and Stadia. Like, it's already, our mainstream gamers and cloud gamers. It's already creating that division, So the entirety of this thing is divisive, and it shouldn't exist. Like, something like this shouldn't exist. It doesn't matter why we play the games that we play. At the end of the day, we're all gamers. Like, you know.
Yep. Yeah. It's, to me, again, and I fell into it too. I responded to the guy on Twitter and I said, if this move is authentic, then, here's else what you got to do. And I believe in the hearts of hearts, he really is trying to, because look, full transparency, y'all. If y'all follow the content, I was hinting at this last week, because I know some of the people that were surveyed and asked to participate. And a lot of people didn't participate because they did, like he indicates in this article, they didn't trust him. You know what I'm saying? So really the people that I know that got questioned about this, they didn't participate because they don't trust the guy. But, or they don't trust Kotaku. But the thing that I find just off-putting about this, even though I do think that the guy reasonably is trying to understand, is that I don't think that he's where he needs to be, him and his colleagues are where they need to be at psychologically. And there I go bringing up that word again like I'm Dr. Phil, but I mean, just think about it. The article is about why we like Stadia, when the focus really should be, how did we get this so wrong? We've been telling you for the past 2.5 years that this thing was dead. It was DOA. It didn't have a chance. It doesn't have any life. And we were wrong. It's still growing. It's expanding. Why did we get it wrong? And instead of dealing with that, they're trying to say, why are these people still latched on to this? That's what they're trying to pass off, instead of dealing with the fact that you had a platform that was just for a subsect of gamers that were disenfranchised, but these gamers are looking for the same thing that your other gamers are looking for. They're looking to just play games. They just have issues or things that are part of their daily life that doesn't make it as obtainable to your other readers. That's it. That's all it is. That's it. And if you would have understood that, you wouldn't have to try to explain your naivete. But this is the course that they want to go, so.
Yeah, I wish you would have hit me up, that guy, because I would have asked him some questions like, yo, how much do you actually know about this platform?
Yeah.
I would test his knowledge first, because before you interview me, I need to make sure that what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Do you know what you're talking about? Like, do you know how to properly convey what you're trying to say? Or are you just trying to do this to make some money?
Yeah, I gotta test your fortitude and your acumen on this, and then there's a few things that did trouble me here, to where had I talked to the guy, it probably would have been evident, and then I would have just said, no, I'm not doing this with you. He says,
did they hit you up? Did he hit you up?
No, they didn't hit me up. I think this is, and again,
what we should do? If we got this guy's Twitter, why don't we get him onto the show? Ask him why he's doing this.
Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea. we're going to get, that's actually an excellent idea. We're going to see what he says and let him answer our conceptions about this article fairly. We'll be fair. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll definitely.
Hey, that'd be a great article for him to write.
Yeah, exactly.
It's content for him and us.
It's just a super fan thing that threw me off at first, and it just kept lingering and eating at me. And then I finally thought about it, and I said, well, they're not addressing the real issue, because nobody picked up a Stadia unit and said, okay, we want to report our own news, and we want to, you know what I'm saying? We only want to play games with each other, and we want to have Stadia Super Saturday. No, like me, when I don't know about you guys, and everybody can give their stories in the chat. I don't know about you guys, and then you could talk about how you got acclimated to Stadia, Smock, as well. But when I first picked up Stadia, I never imagined that it would be my number one way to play. I always thought that as far as the cloud was concerned, be based off my prior experience with Project Stream versus Stadia. I thought GFN would be my way to do cloud gaming. I was expecting most of my play to come through PC. And I think at the time I had resignated that I would get a PlayStation 5. I thought PC, PlayStation 5, then the cloud was going to be my orders of how I played the most. And when I got the system and I played it, and then I compared it to what was being said on the mainstream, I said, this is completely false. And so then that forced me to look more into the platform, and the more I learned about the platform, the more I was more enamored with it and more interested in it and learning more about cloud gaming instead of just picking up and playing. And then it got to a point to where I said, well, I got a channel. Let me create another channel that'll help contribute to facts being displayed. And that's how StadiaDosage came about. And then I started learning even more. So then as I'm learning all this new stuff, I'm reinvigorated on the learning and the content creation aspect, but then I'm coming across more experience like Borderlands 3 and Division 2 and games like that make me really, and Doom Eternal, that really make me say, damn, like this is not only a great way to game, but it's so seamless. I can game and stream simultaneously without all the headaches that I have for native gameplay. This might just be my main way to play. You know what I'm saying? And the rest is history. I knew there was trade-offs. I knew that, I wasn't going to get the graphical marvels that I would get from PC or whatever. But again, I was like, the trade-offs were not more severe than the benefits. And the rest is history. That's it. Well, how did you get acclimated to Stadia, Smock?
So it was through Project Stream.
Oh, okay.
I got an email from Google. They wanted me to beta test. They wanted me to be a beta tester for Project Stream, and I agreed to it. So they sent me a code. I think like a couple of days later or a couple of weeks later, they sent me a code to play Odyssey. I believe that was a game. I believe it was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And as soon this is crazy, but as soon as I got the email, I got it like a night before. I got it like late night. That next morning, I went to Best Buy to buy a mouse for my laptop. So I bought a laptop and a mouse. I bought both. I went to buy a laptop and a mouse, and I'm sitting in Best Buy. I bought it, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to stick around, but I'm going to play the game. I'm going to test it out." The dude said, "All right, fine." He didn't care. They do it at Best Buy, so I'm in Best Buy, like in a little section, playing Odyssey, playing Project Stream on the laptop, and like within 10 minutes, I said, "Bro, this feels incredible. It feels incredible. Like, yo, this game is actually running in the browser on my laptop. Like, that's not a gaming laptop, bro. And it was a Chromebook. I went and got a Chromebook, and I got some Razer mouse I got from a couple years ago. I don't know where it is, but yeah, I'm sitting there playing, and it just felt it felt really good.
Mm.
So I was like, yeah, this is it. This is I'm down. I'm cool with this. So ever since then, man, I've been playing. It gave me the key for like different customization options. Once I started doing that, when really started getting into the game, I was hooked. After that, I was hooked. I was playing every day.
Wow.
After that, and yeah, I would listen to the another thing that kept me interested, even after the beta was finished, was I was listening to when Stadia Cast was good. I was listening to Stadia Cast I was listening to them every week on Sunday, every single week.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the content creators, shout out to Stadia Generation. That's Virtual Cloud now. Even Ace, formerly of
I used to listen to Ace
when
Ace and Sunny too.
Yeah, when Ace used to play Stadia and McDonald's and stuff like that. That was like, okay, these are people that know what they're talking about. My atypical journalists that I would go to have no clue about this thing. These are the people that I'm going to listen to. They were very instrumental in me, learning more on the content creation side about the platform. So again, they created this dynamic, and I just wish, and again, my final message to the media, which feel free to reach out to me, and we can have civil, but root driven conversations about what happened and what, and what's going on and how things are perceived and what they, what's really happening. But again, we were given no other choice but to handle the things the way that we do, because
it's not even about us handling because like this community was created organically. It wasn't created. It wasn't like this community wasn't created because of the negative stuff that was being said. Like this community was created, I believe, to me, in my opinion, from my point of view, I always thought that this community was created through Discord, and then it like transferred to Twitter. Like, it was Discord and Twitter, and everybody was on the Stadia thing. And then like, cause like a lot of you I found either through YouTube, Discord, or through Twitter that under Stadia comments, through Stadia. But I never, but how you're saying, and this is just my opinion, I could be wrong, but how it seems like what you're saying is you're saying that we created this community in defense of all the negative stuff that was being said. But I don't think that's necessarily true. I just think that this community was created because we all just like playing Stadia. You feel me? And all of us like became friends. Like who said that? It was a couple people that said that this community is the best community, like the city community is the best community that they've ever been a part of. Like it's not just me that said, like, people that said it once they get to know who we are, and if this community was created in defense of all of the negative stuff, I don't think they would have gotten that same reaction after, getting to know everybody in the community, because the whole dynamic would be different. The whole dynamic would be to defend Stadia. When we do defend Stadia, but it's not because necessarily of the sake of defending, it's because everybody just like what you said, everybody just enjoys playing the game. You feel me? So I don't think that this, like, I don't know. I don't think that this community was created to just, yes, because we all enjoy games, but but it's not just to,
I'll say this. I think that there were portions of this community, because there were a lot of people, there were a decent number of people that were around at the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? There were content creators, and then there were followers that were around. And I think there was a subsect of people that, just for the nerdistry of knowing the most that they could about Stadia, they follow certain content creators. I won't doubt that. But when I came in to the community, I started to see an influx of people that also came to the community because, and again, it wasn't like we were angry. We were just like, I want to know more about this, and I can't go to GameStop to learn about this. I can't go to IGN.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to the established, like, who are these established people that are familiar with the platform that I can trust and I can go to. And that's who I'm going to go to. And again, it wasn't like, oh, I'm mad. It's just like, hold on, this is I can't. It was an agitation of, I can't trust these guys over here, so I'm going to go over here. And it was all love. It was all love, and you know. Yeah. What I mean? So I get what you're saying is like, you know, it wasn't created solely as a byproduct
retaliation
of the as a retaliation, but from what I saw and what my experience was, it wouldn't have been as robust. Like if Game Informer, if IGN, if all these places educated themselves on Stadia, right? And even if they were negative, they were factual and was given factual information about it. I still think people would have come to the outlets that we know of. But I think what brought a floodgate of people is the people like myself who used to watch these entities and said, I'm used to you guys at least acting like you know what you're talking about. You guys don't know what you're talking about. But I got to go somewhere to find out about this platform because I like it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it was the first seedling was nobody's reporting on this, so you know we're going to start this. But no, the community is what it is because of the lack of information and the lack of coverage elsewhere. You know what, Smart? We got to close this out early, so we're gonna because my wife is giving me the side eye. But if we can, and this was a great show, thank you everybody. But if you can, Smart, can you let us know what the let us know where people can find you at, good brother.
Yeah, so you can find me right here on YouTube at Smog Junior Gaming. You know, go live randomly. I want like my goal is to get a schedule and to stream regularly. Once my work schedule isn't so hectic, and once I'm not working into the wee hours into the morning, 4 or 5 a.m., you know, then I'll have enough energy to stream. But for right now, you'll find me here streaming randomly. You can find me on Twitter at N2OLA, or you could type in Smog Junior. But my handle is N2OLA, but my name is Smog Junior on there. When you do find me, so you can find me on Twitter. You can find me here. You can find me on Instagram at Smog Junior. You know, I have those three. You won't find me on TikTok though. You won't find me on there.
You will find your TikTok. All right, good brother. And you can find me, MM2K, here on PNTS Network, StadiaDosage, and all of our sister platforms. With that said, I appreciate and thank everybody for coming through. I appreciate my brother Daryl Smock giving his diverse opinions as well. And everybody in the chat, Geek to Sneak, Christopher Torres, mostly Martinez, and everyone else, thank you so much for coming through. And again, if you want to be part of the member chat, hit that join button. Until next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Peace.
All right, great show. Holy cow. That's good stuff.